Hey guys, it's me, Mike Taylor. It's ARC 215 time. I thought that I would take some time with us and maybe do a little video on details. So I saw, if I can share my screen here, I saw that we had a little bit of, apprehension about drawing all of these details in the time that we've got left. So I see here we've got a Tuesday, November 25th deadline. That is currently what I understand the deadline to be. However, what I'd like to do is take some time today and maybe we can get ourselves up and running. This is, of course, for those of us working inside of Revit. I know that I've heard stories that, AutoCAD's easier, Revit's easier, there's all sorts of perspectives. I think that the best perspective is that all of these things are tools. They are tools to help us make good drawings. If you draw in AutoCAD, you draw by hand, you draw in Revit, you draw with pencil crayon. The core piece of this is that we need to convey information to somebody so that they can build the thing that we're drawing. So I just want to make sure that everybody is clear on that. I know that we've got some pretty tight deadlines here and we just want to get it done as fast as possible. But once real life is here, we've got, drawings at the end of the day. These are drawings. This is what we do. Make some nice looking drawings. And certainly this is a great little drawing package. So I am in assignment 5 and this is one of the precedent examples. You are more than welcome to do this in Revit. I will say that, you're more than welcome to do it in Revit or AutoCAD, whatever you choose. Again, back to the idea, everybody's got different perspectives. So what I would suggest is I'm going to do a little Revit tutorial, how to get drawings like this out of Revit. So I know that I had seen a kind of tutorial piece come out. I think it's to do with these plan detail and a kind of mechanical penthouse wall section. So I've gone ahead and I've downloaded that. I think it came in a announcement from Elnaz, and I'm just going to pull that up right now. This is Bluebeam. So just some examples, of, a couple little, wall section, and then up here we got a corner plan detail. So for those of us that are like, wow, this is way faster to do in Revit, way faster to do in AutoCAD, hold that thought. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up a kind of Revit drawing and let's just get started. So I feel like the fastest way to show you guys this is just to start drawing. Okay, cool. So some key tools here. We're going to be using some detail components, be using some filled regions. We'll be using some dimensions. We'll get some text in there. If you've got a wall type set up, that's only going to help you. So, for instance, here we've got a whole bunch of pre-finished metal cladding on thermally broken girts, 25 millimeters airspace, so on and so forth. So, with some dimensions. Let's pop it open. Here we go. So, Revit it is. So, might be wondering, first things first, well, where do I even start drawing a detail? So, in fact, there are 2 ways to draw details in Revit. Today, I'm only going to cover the one that I think you guys should use, but I do want you guys to be aware that there are more than one ways to do this. So philosophy is a big part of how I think about this stuff, but let's just get into it. So what's that? Penthouse roof. I'm going to jump to the plan. Let's do that first. Penthouse roof. I have nothing in my penthouse roof. Is it one level below? Let's do level 5 here. This is probably good for now. And let's just double check here. Grid line 5-ish. Okay, this is not going to quite work for us, but oh, that's why. So what is going on here? Where is my floor? Bum, 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 bum. Let's just double check here. The joys of working in Revit. Do I not have anything? Certainly I do. There it is, right there. Why is it hiding? Interesting. Aha! Roof plan. My mistake. This is why. Roof. My roof plan. So that's okay for now. So my roof, I've just got, what is this? This is my exterior wall 2, I've called it. So exterior wall 2, you can kind of see over here on the left. Now, I'm definitely missing some columns in here, so I should probably do that. However, for now, let's just start the process of getting our detail up and running. So, in fact, what I might do is, let's go back down to level 5 here. Let's see if we can just grab a couple of these. I'm thinking maybe we just make this the penthouse actually, guys. So this will be our penthouse line. I'm going to copy these, so Control C. And I'm actually going to paste them up to my roof. Architecture, modify. Let's go paste to selected levels. Let's do level 5 here. Excuse me, roof. Blam. And let's go back up to our roof. Ta-da! So typically we have what's called the load path. So the load path is just where do our columns line up? How do we drive the load path? We use a grid. So I'm just going to quickly just modify this, give myself some alignments here. Probably want to be on the outside of our columns here. So columns, of course, are holding up the building, also holding up the walls. Shouldn't have done too much damage to, oh, I messed up my roof. Shouldn't have done too much damage to us, but you know what? I'm going to super quick just also modify this. AL, do my little modify. What is happening? What have I done? What have I done? Where is my roof? I don't really need to do this. Where's my roof outline? What have I done? Okay, well, I'm not sure what I've done. I'm going to reset the shape here. I must have done this in class at some point. And I still got, what is going on? Okay, it's fine. I'm just going to make a new roof. Roof. Let's do a little, where's my roof tool? There it is, roof by footprint. I'm going to go ahead and create a little roof. Make sure you've got, you don't want to define any slopes up here. And now, check mark, and it's at grade. Make sure you put it at the roof level. In fact, let's put it at the penthouse roof level. Ta-da! So that's cool, but I'm still unclear why that's what I wanted to do, is be able to change the profile here. So let me tab select. I'm just modifying where the edge of my roof is. Probably really hard to see. This little pink line doesn't help me. I'm colorblind. So check mark, and we just want to make sure that we've got, yeah, there we go. So the edge here, really what we want is to have our roof be below our wall, right? So I actually have to have this come up just a little bit. Let's make it top of, what's my penthouse? Is that going to help me? Does not help me. Top offset. Let's call it, why didn't it go up though? Oh, I see. Let's call it top offset 750. Let's do that. Kablam, something like that. Now we got a nice little parapet going on. That's cool. So anyways, back to our roof. So our roof, we got to make sure we've got our columns in the corner here. This is looking a little bit better. C3, I know I was just supposed to talk about details, but let's keep it going. So how do I draw detail? Plan details first. What do? Oh my God. So let's go to the View tab. Now we should see call out up here. So I'm going to do this, a couple of different ways to do this, but I think this is the best way to do it. I'm going to do a call out here, and we can either sketch a shape or we can just use a simple rectangle tool. And what this is going to do is it's going to let us draw a little square or rectangle. This is specifically a rectangular tool, so squares or rectangles, but something we want to make bigger. So in order to make this bigger, we got to blow it up. And how do we make them blow it up? Will we create a bubble? So in AutoCAD, you used to have to go around your building and create all of these little bubbles. And then you go to your drawings and you figure out, okay, which reference was that bubble part of. For us, Revit automates this. This is rad. It solves a lot of what I would say were discrepancies between drawings. So what will happen is no matter what you do, if you update this in the model, if you update it in the sheet, your reference for this particular view will always be, for lack of a better word, correct. So I'll show you what I mean. Click on rectangle here. You can, now we're going to select our little over here. Nice little plan detail. So this is just our plan detail callout. It doesn't live on a sheet yet, so we've got this blank piece here. What else do we have? We've got the actual rectangle itself. So if you click on the rectangle, just one single click, we can modify this piece. We can move this up and down, and that's making our view bigger. So if we want to blow up just the corner, let's do something like this. And I'm actually going to close these other views. We don't really need them open. What I'd like to do is show you in real time what this view, kind of how it gets updated. So bear with me. I'm going to do a little Windows, tile windows here. So let's do a little, oh, I need to open it first. So a couple ways to open this view up. We can either click on it, and we can see we've got it. If you hover over it, it's called Views Floor Plan Views Floor Plan Roof Callout 1. So we can either right click and go down to our, where is it? We've got go to view. We can double click twice, right? 2 clicks. Or if we really want to, we can come into the project browser, and maybe we got a host of these details that we started, and I'm just going to quickly search callout, and we should see roof callout down here. So you can open these up anyway, preferably, it's all personal preference, whatever works for you. If I whoops. So that's one thing you can't do. You can't just double click on this. You got to double click on the actual view itself. So this is what we get. Pretty rough. Oof, pretty rough. Okay, that's cool. So what I'd like to do, just in the interest of kind of showing you guys what's going on here, we're going to tile the windows. And now what I've got is on the left, I've got my detail, and on the right, I've got the plan. So, what happens is, say for instance, I, in my roof plan, decide that I would like to move this up. Did we see it? So we're adjusting the crop view in real time, right? So you're adjusting the crop view in real time. This is super useful and super amazing. I would just say be careful with it. So that's one piece. It's gonna, real quick, I'm gonna go back to tab views here. Real quick, I want to show us a couple other things here. We've got the kind of, I don't even know what it's called, the leg basically of where the view is sitting. So in order to get this, say I want to put this all the way on the left side here. So typically it's good to have you don't want to interfere your symbol, so we don't have the symbol kind of getting in the way. So if I click on this, I got to click on the view itself. Just single click. And then what I can do is I can actually drag the head. I'm going to hover over here and take this, and I can put it, maybe I put it up here. Maybe I put it down here, and I'm clicking and holding and dragging the mouse where I want it. Some people like them like this. And then to get a kind of 45 degree in here, come on, give it to me. Something like this. You can see how Revit is, it doesn't do exactly what you want, but it's close. Something like this. Let's see what our mutual friends did for the penthouse here. They haven't called it out. Okay, this is just the detail explicit. Okay, cool. One thing. Okay, so let's say, what do I want to do next? Do I want to just get into the details? I think realistically, I should probably create a sheet so you can see how the referencing works. Apologies, we're not getting right into details right away. So do we have any? We do not. So I need to make a new sheet. Blam. We'll call it probably 600 series, 500 or 600. Let's do details, something like this. Actually, what did our mutual friend call it? They've got it on the 7 series, but that's okay. 6 or 7, 5, 6 or 7. I typically use 6. Listen, whatever it says in the project manual or the assignment, use that. Okay, so now I've got A600 details. How do I get that drawing, roof callout 1, onto the sheet? So right now, I know that it's called roof callout. It's going to look up callout. I think I've only got 1. What I can do is click, hold, drag. Got a nice little roof callout. Weak. Look at this weak, tiny, totally vague. You know, you're thinking Revit is garbage. Why would I do it this way? This is such a terrible idea. I'll just do it in AutoCAD. But wait, let's go back to the roof. So check this out. Ta-da! Every detail that you throw onto a sheet, let me be clear, that you throw onto a sheet will have a reference. For whatever reason, if you decide, okay, I actually want this to be detail, I don't know, 45. We can change this detail to 45. All right, detail 45. Let's go back to the sheet. Ta-da, detail 45. So this, I know it seems kind of silly, maybe to those of you, I'm dating myself quite a bit. The way that we used to do it was that you would need to manually update every single one of these tags to reflect what was showing up in the plan with what was showing up in the sheet. We used to have a whole catalog of different drawings that would represent different parts of the building that would all be numbered independently of one another. This, way better. You can update that number here, right? We can update it. Oh, come on, give it to me. I'm not sure why this isn't letting me. I should be able to. Anyways, if you can't do it there, you can do it. If you click on the view, you can do it over here. If I change this back to 1, change this back to 1, hit apply, ta-da, we're back here. So I will also be able to update it here. So if I change this back to 45, you guessed it, goes back to 45. So for now, we're going to keep it as 1. Interesting. Why can't I? Aha, there it is. So in order to change it in the sheet, you got to click on the view itself, come over here, and then you can update it. Couple things. So some people like to draw their details right inside the sheet. Some people like to draw their details inside the view itself. It's up to you. They are one and the same. So currently this is showing roof callout 1 to 50. That's not what we want. We probably want something a little bit closer, right? So what does assignment here have? Great. Scale, not to scale. So realistically, when we're drawing details, I would love, not to scale, I would love for us to have a 1 to 5 or a 1 to 10 scale of drawing for these details. I believe in the assignment itself, we have a set of requirements for what needs to be drawn. I'm just going to double check that real quick now and make sure that everything's cool. So let me pull that up. Go away, Adobe Acrobat. I hate you. Let's pull this up. We've got... So this says week 13, guys. So let's check in on that. Week 13. A07, where are my drawings? Okay, so we have a variety of scales here. So 1 to 75, 1 to 20, 1 to 10, 1 to 5, 1 to 20, over and over and over. So we got all these types of details here. Just trying to find one. Where is our corner mechanical penthouse? 1 to 20. So that's a pretty small detail, but let's give it a shot. Okay, pull it up. Nice looking gray box. Couple of gray boxes here. First thing we can do is, do I have some sort of view template on? Why can't I do anything? There we go. Interesting. Looks like it's grayed out on my screen. It must just be my imagination. So first things first, what do we want to see? We see a couple of grid lines. Great news, we got some grids. Second thing we want to do, probably change this. We can change it to whatever scale we want. 1 to 20 is the project requirement. Looking a little small, but let's see what it looks like on the sheet. It's huge now. So what we can do is, you will notice that it's up to you when you place these drawings on the sheet, but if you do start to mess with the scales post putting them on a sheet, you'll see things like this start to emerge. Don't panic. It's just part of the process. So we can either move it back, something like this. It's totally cool. So, the assignment says 1 to 20. It's feeling pretty small. Full disclosure, I draw all my details at least 1 to 10, if not 1 to 5, if not 1 to 2. So 1 to 5 would be pretty standard. 1 to 10 is less standard. 1 to 20 is feeling a little big, but that's okay. So 1 to 20 is the assignment requirement. Let's get in here. So what else do we need to do? Probably want to see some of the wall makeup, right? So we want to see, we got the column in here, but we probably want to see, what is made up of this wall. And the fastest way to do that is we should have some layers. Currently, if we come down here, we're going to see detail level coarse. We click on that, hit medium, ta-da! And we got some extra stuff. So that being said, we are pretty tight up against this wall. I think that's fine. So is thin lines on? It is. So my thin lines is on right now. So if I turn it off, even better. So this column is looking pretty concrete right now. It's probably of my making, but what we can do is we can transfer a couple things to make this look a little bit more compelling. So what do we got going on here? So this is our wall. I want to be careful here. I'm not sure if there's a explicit direction to have this particular wall assembly, pre-finished metal cladding, with the airspace. So if that's the case, do this. But I'm just going to go ahead and why don't I update my wall to kind of show, what I would do if I was you. So metal cladding, not a bad idea. Secured on thermally broken girts, that's cool. Yeah, airspace and then rigid insulation. So in fact, in the mechanical room, I'm probably going to use studs up here. We probably don't need that full CLT panel, just because it's exposed to the inside. And, I think we're allowed to do it, but mechanical suites might make more sense to have just some simple drywall. So I'm just going to double check in here. I did this super quick, so I can see I've got some sort of airspace in here, but let's just give ourselves some more thoughtful ideas here. So penthouse wall, I'm going to come up here, hit edit type, get into my edit here. I've got, where's my exterior side? Let's do, I'm going to insert a little metal structure in here. So let's do a finish. We'll do metal something, metal panel. Let's just do this. I'll do aluminum. We got metal, aluminum, wonderful. Hit OK. Oh, I should probably give myself a thickness. So it's going to get a little bit odd. I'm talking about a 4mm aluminum composite panel, but it's 25mm once it's bent over and made into a kind of good that we can put on the building. So 25, probably need a little bit of air gap in here. I don't have an air gap. That's interesting. Down. Give myself another 25. Let's do air. Air, of course, is in our material browser. If I type air, it's just going to represent it as blank space. Some insulation. It's looking good. We've got membrane layer. We got substrate. We got stud. And then we got gypsum. If you want a little preview, you can click this. And now we're going to see a little bit of what it looks like. I'm going to hit OK. We should have everything update. Hit OK. Hit OK again. Looking. Oh, I see what's happened. So in fact, my my wall is now come in a little bit. So what I'm actually gonna have to do is just move that wall out. So I can do that a couple ways. I'm just gonna drag this a little bit and now align it back with, whoops. You always align the thing to the thing you wanna align to. Let's try that. Nice. Okay, cool. So what do we have? This wall is looking pretty close. So a couple things that we want to make sure we show in any good detail is, of course, it's not shown in this detail, but what we want to show is if I'm building this, I'm going to turn on thin lines for me here. If I'm building this, what do I want to see? I probably want to know, you're the contractor, what do I want to know? I want to know what is the extent of the wall. So from grid line C to the outside face of the wall is 568. I'm just going to park that somewhere. What is the dimension from grid line 3 to the outside face of the wall? 568. Luckily, it's the same. That's looking good. What else do we got here? We've got, I'm going to leave this installation how it is. This is a struggle inside of every architectural firm that I've ever worked at. They say, well, I think it should look like this. And to draw this in Revit is annoying and frankly a waste of time. I know that this is installation. Apologies to those of you who have bosses that are like mine, who will always say, but I want it to look like this. And you will have to take some time to draw it like that. I would say that the power of Revit is not having to take time to do fruitless tasks, wastes of time. So, let's not do that. Even just looking at this current condition, I'm even thinking, should I actually align? Oh, it's not going to let me. Should I actually align the outside face of my cladding with my concrete, my mass timber glue lamp column here? So this is probably better, but why are you canceling everything out? Moves with grids for inbounding. All looks good. Wonder if this is messing me up. Apologies, I'm just doing one thing real quick. Let's just move this up. Oh no, down. Let's do this. Gotta talk to myself while I do this. Otherwise, don't think this is gonna help me. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna leave it how it was because I'm not sure why that column is doing odd things. Anywho, let's keep going here. So we've got some dimensions there. What else we want to show? We probably want to, if you want to show the overall dimension of the wall, we can do that. So 388. It's probably the same in this direction because it's Revit. It should be, arguably some people like to, tighten this up a little bit. What are we really trying to show? Some people like to keep their dimensions outside. So we can pop it out here, right? Another way to do this, we can also say, okay, let's throw the dimension down here. And now we have a clean little set of dimensions, right? We still know from the grid line where the outside face of our wall is. What else do we want to do? We probably want to show, this 180, sure. But what else can we do? Instead of that, why don't we actually show it over here? Edit. So remember, if you've got a dimension string already set up, you can actually just click on that dimension string and add to it by hitting that edit witness lines. Do that real quick. Probably, I guess, if this is part of the requirement, you can label your glue lamp column. It's going to be a challenge because typically in architecture, we would have a structural engineer help us out and tell us how deep that column is. We would probably err on the side of caution when calling out these columns because we are not structural engineers. Less than my business. So if you want to get more particular, what we can do is dimension every single one of these layers. Something like this. And now you'll notice that because we're working with this scale, it can get a little tough to show all this. So 19, 203, 16. But now we can show all of these things. And I should mention that if for whatever reason at any point you're like, oh, actually, I think there should be a 1 to 10 detail, we just blam. Look at that magical. It's magical, guys. I don't think you understand. Versus AutoCAD, you have to redraw everything on AutoCAD. Well, unless you got annotative symbols. However, 1 to 20, let's leave it. Couple things here. So say, how do we want to do this? There's a bad example for this, but let's do some other things here. So we want to show pre-finished metal flashing below. Sure, let's do that. So how do we get to text? I'll give you a hint. It's in the annotate tab. Jump over here and we're going to go to, oh my goodness, text. So see this little, it's hiding on us. One of the things we probably use the most and it's hiding. So hit that little text button, blam. So when I first started using Revit, I hated this tool. So I want us all to take a deep breath and we're going to get through it together. So there's a whole bunch of ways that we can call out text. So one thing that's really important is to make sure that we show interior interior and exterior, inside and outside. I don't care how you do it, what you call it, but from a contractor's perspective, if I'm the first time looking at this drawing, really helpful. Exterior, blam. Gonna copy paste. Interior. For instance, right now these are looking pretty beefy, so one thing we can do is shrink the size of the text here. Can I make it 2.5? A little bit smaller. I would say 2.5. Whoops, 2.5 is a pretty good size for most offices. 2 is pretty small. 3 is probably you're erring on the maximum size when we're looking at details. But you know, every office has their own graphic standards, and I'm just trying to get us to the finish line here. So up next. What's next? We've got, I was supposed to be showing you how to get that pre-finished metal flashing below. So go back to our text tool. And now you'll see a couple different iterations of how we might use text. There's one segment, there is 2 segments, and there's a little curved segment. I would suggest we probably use the 2 segments version. It's what I would say I've used for most of every job I've ever been on, 99% of them. But just real quick, so one is just a straight text box, like we just used, right? Shortcut is TX, for those of us that like shortcuts. One segment is a single arrow, and it should align, right? Now, what you can do is if you click on this text now, we can actually remove the last leader. So now it's just a text box, or we can add new leaders. Blam. Maybe one out the other side, another one. You know, and we can keep doing it. Add infinitum. Delete that real quick. TX. And now the one that I would say most of us should be using is this little 2 segment one. And we can align it however we choose. So you should notice that leader at the top right or top left. It's up to you. I prefer a top left or top right, but you might like it at the bottom. This person's done it at the top. What that means is if I just real quick do this, I'm going to say, what was my comment? Most people like it to be all caps. Let's do pre-finished metal flashing. Below. If you got to make a line space or just hit enter. Oh, good. None of the elements that I made are in this view, so that's useless. So what's happened here is my annotation crop is messing us up. So if we click on our view, we'll notice we got a dashed line and a solid line. The dashed line is our annotation. The solid line is our model. So probably the easiest way to think about it. If I pull this all the way out, I'm gonna guess, there it is. So the annotation crop, all right? So it's cutting off, anything that is an annotation. So it's looking a little beefy. Let's turn this down to 2.5 millimeters here. Once we've got this note, if we click on the note, we can kind of move it, right? A little frustrating, but while the node is selected, we can also modify the arrows here, blam, something like this. Cool. One thing I should change real quick here is why this is reading like concrete. Interesting. So it says softwood, but that is not the pattern that I would use for softwood. Let's see if we've got wood in here. Let's just try this. Let's hit OK. Let's see what we got. You gonna give it to me? No change. What have I done? I've done something. So let's try this one more time. If this doesn't work, I don't even know what I would have done. This is all, cut pattern. Whoops, there it is. Wood. Kablam. Kablam, kablam. No. Interesting. Why are you showing up so weird? Let's do override. It's all looking good. Why are you messing with me? Why are you messing with me, computer? Why now? So I can even see on the left here, this looks good. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but that's okay. So that's what I want to show you anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel here. we're going to go over to annotate, pick the region tool, do a little filled region. And a filled region is just like a little box of stuff or any shape. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a box at where my column should be, just to kind of override what's there right now. In an ideal world, you wouldn't have to do this, but I'm going to. So some shape. We're going to do this real quick. And I've got a, let's do vertical here. Let's see what we get. So check mark, useless. But that's a filled region. So the filled region is just like a little fill that we can use. And we can feel free to move that around wherever you want. And you'll see these little tags here. We can drag them as we go. They will lock in place to elements. So say I want to just lock this here, lock this here. And I say lock, but I mean snap. You can lock them. You can see as you can lock them if you want. But in actual fact, you can also change these fills. So diagonals, you know, maybe we actually want this to be horizontal, right? That's looking a little bit more like a glulam column, I think. Something like this. So anyways, I just want to get us started. This is going to be the first of a couple videos. If that gets you to kind of understanding how to set up the view, that's just a plan section. So in the next video, I'd like to keep going with our filled regions and also some more annotations just to get us a little bit more familiar with using some of these tools. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you shortly in the next video. So thanks so much, guys, for tuning into the channel. Talk to you soon. Bye.